So I know most of you might be all, let's call it pandemic out, right? We over immersed, overwhelmed, and desensitized to this idea that the way we lived, engaged, interacted with each other and the rest of the world has really forever been changed. And obviously, we celebrate the fact that now things are starting to open up again. We no longer have to wear masks. We no longer have to social distance. There are vaccines in place for those who choose to take them. And the world has uh, come to some sense of prior normacy, right? And that's great. Um, but I think we cannot discount the fact that our lives have forever been changed. And our lives are predominantly made up of our consistent actions and habits done day in and day out. And over the last few years, our habits have changed. And so now we live in a world where everything is closer. Everyone sees the value, the advantage, the leverage of being able to do global business in a very small world. And that's fantastic, but it doesn't come without its challenges. There is not the same energy transfer when I'm speaking to you through this camera lens as opposed to if I was sitting right in front of you. There isn't the same sense of culture within a business, when you work remotely as opposed to when you work in person in the same physical proximity and space. And I don't say these things because I want you to look at them as weaknesses or challenges, but rather that you realize that in order to survive, in order to sustain and thrive in the new post pandemic world, you have to embrace things like platform closing, like virtual events, like transferring your energy through the camera lens, like being able to build culture amongst a predominantly remote workforce, and knowing that the results you get and the performance of yourself, your team, your business that you're trying to manage needs to be more data driven. It needs to be more um, results focused, right? What are the most important numbers in every department that need to be understood in order for you to identify growth opportunities and potential bottlenecks? And the closer we come to our data, to knowing our numbers and the insights and stories that tell us about our business, the more able we are to be agile and to scale within the post pandemic digital re-evolution. I think that to a certain extent, for years, people have been talking about, business going online, building an online business, making money online, um, but no one really, besides the few, let's call it, influencers and social capital monarchs that have made six, seven, eight-figure fortunes online in the service space, or the tech giants like the Facebooks and the Amazons and the Elon Musks of the world have done. But for the average person, it was a long seen a high barrier to entry to make money online. And now suddenly you have this flurry of services and products that are promoting themselves, and entrepreneurs driving this new, what I call digital re-evolution, because in some ways it was an expansion, in some ways it was a growth spurt, and in some ways it was a re-education to see what the true potential of a digital age would look like. And then, obviously, there are the moving parts of the different avatars and personas that one has to deal with and target online, Gen Z versus millennials, versus the boomers, and how do we engage with them? How do we connect with them? How do we become omnipresent in their lives? These are all questions that we should be asking ourselves every day. And I think that for me, the major realization is that the rules of engagement, in the sense of how we achieve distribution and reach and connection, has changed. Right? So yes, I know there are some of you spending money trying to break even on Facebook ads and low ticket front end products. And, some of you are trying to drive high ticket coaching services through content only marketing strategies and growing a following. And that's all great. But I need you to realize that it's no longer a one size fits all, because the reality is that as the era has changed, as the nature of business has changed, as the nature of culture and human action has changed, that the customer journey has changed. And more so than ever, it's fragmented. And in order to really stand out and outperform the competition, we have to become omnipresent. And that means we have to become part of the worlds of our customers. And, to some extent, perception is reality. So, how do we insert ourselves into the daily habits, engagements, and interactions of those we seek as our ideal clients? So, this is my views on the post pandemic world, one that is riddled with more questions than answers, should be navigated with data and insight and managed by the numbers, and one that leaves huge opportunity for every person to make their fortune if they should embrace the mindset, the skills, and the opportunities in a guided manner by those who have already achieved the success they are looking for in their own lives and the results they desire to get. So comment below and tell me how your business has changed post the pandemic. What are the opportunities you see? And more importantly, what are the challenges that you are struggling with? Until next time.